Hello and welcome to some more theory. Today I'm going to be looking at grouping notes in simple time signatures. First thing we need to look at is what a simple time signature is. So a simple time signature is pretty much anything with 4 at the bottom or anything that can't be divided down any further. So 2-4, 3-4, 4-4 and for example 3-8 because we can't go any smaller than that. 2-4, when we're dealing with time signatures, the top number is number of beats. And the bottom number is type of beat. So 4 at the bottom is always going to be crotchet beats. Well, that means if I've got 2-4, that there are the equivalent of 2 crotchet beats in a bar. So the bar adds up to the same as 2 crotchets. So 3-4 is 3 crotchet beats in a bar, 4-4 is 4 crotchet beats in a bar. Anything with 8 at the bottom, those are quaver beats. If you've got 2-2, that is also a simple time signature. 2 at the bottom is minim beats. So these are longer beats. And I'm just going to draw the notes in there as well, just so we're 100% sure we know what we're dealing with here. Crotchet, quaver, and a minim. So, if we do a 2-4 bar, for example, then, not going to worry about a clef here because we're just dealing with rhythms. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the middle line to create a rhythm. You will see this sometimes where you've just got a single line and we're dealing with a rhythm. So 2-4 is 2 crotchet beats in a bar, so it could just be 2 crotchets, and that would be a complete bar. Now when you're grouping notes, music wants to be in complete beats. So if I do 2 quavers, I'll do those next to each other. I can join those up because they make 1 crotchet. I could then add another crotchet to complete the bar. I could put a single minim because that's 2 beats all on its own. I could put 2 semiquavers and a quaver, and I can join those together because again that makes 1 complete beat. How does it do that? That's a quarter of a beat plus a quarter of a beat plus a half of a beat makes 1. Let's do something else in this bar. Let's put another 2 quavers. Then let's go for 4 semiquavers in a row. And let's finish off with a crotchet there. So we just got simple rhythms there, 2-4, 2 beats in a bar, 2 crotchet beats in a bar. Rests are exactly the same as notes. So if I do a 2-4 bar here, no, let's go 3-4 actually, just so we can see a different shape. So I'm going to do 3-4. Now I'm going to be grouping into 3 sets of crotchets. So I'm going to start with a crotchet. I'm then going to put a crotchet rest and then another crotchet. That is still 3 beats. That is a crotchet rest. The rests count exactly the same as notes. So let's go for 2 quavers there. Let's put a quaver rest followed by a single quaver, and then we'll put a crotchet there just so we've got something slightly different. Again, you're just looking for things being grouped into 1 beat. So everything's grouped up into 1 beat there. So if I do something a little bit more complicated, let's say I put a dotted quaver and a semiquaver, that becomes a dotted quaver is half plus half of a half, which is a quarter. So that dotted quaver is 3/4, and then a semiquaver is a quarter of a beat on its own. So that actually makes 1 beat. Say I put a minim rest. Minim rest, top hat 2 sits on the line there. That is a complete bar. Minim rest is worth 2 beats. I could put a dotted minim, and that's a complete bar all on its own because a dotted minim is worth 3 beats. So rests count just the same as notes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a box here and we're going to call that rests. So we're going to have, we'll start with our semi-breve rest, which hangs from the line. So that's 4 beats. Do a minim. I call it top hat 2 because it looks like a little top hat sitting on the line, and it's easier top hat 2 Nice way of remembering it. Then you've got a crotchet rest. Now, a crotchet rest can look like a Z with a C. My students call it the dead seagull on its side. Some people like to call it the Harry Potter scar. That's absolutely fine. That's one beat. Ooh, one beat's even. And then Quaver looks a little bit like a 7, and that's a half beat. We've also then got semi-Quaver, which is the same as the Quaver but with two tails there. That is a quarter of a beat. And as we're going up towards grade 5 theory, we do have a demi-semi-Quaver which has 3, and that is an eighth of a beat. So rests work exactly the same as notes. They can have dots after them, they can be extended notes. Let's look at 4/4 here. So remember, we're just dealing with simple time signatures at the moment. 4/4. Now, 2/4, we can divide the bar into 1, 2 beats. 4/4, we can subdivide down into 2 sets of 2. So sometimes on groupings for 4/4, you might see a minim, that's half a bar and then 2 crotchets. So we can imagine a line dividing the bar up into 2 and 2. Which is why sometimes when you get 4 quavers in a 4/4 bar, rather than join them in 2s, you can actually join all 4. We might then have, say, a dotted crotchet and a quaver. Let's just break this bar down so we can see how it's grouped. We've got half, 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 half. So that makes 2 beats altogether. Then dotted crotchet is 1 plus half of 1, which is a half. Then we have a quaver, which is half. So 1 1/2 plus a half makes 2. So that is half our bar, that is half our bar, and that makes 4 altogether. So 4/4 sometimes can be divided into 2 and 2 with an imaginary line. 2/2 would be exactly the same look as 4/4. 2/2 is 2 minim beats. So 2 minim beats. So that's going to look exactly the same. That would also be 2/2. Difference sometimes is 4/4, sometimes you would subdivide that down further, so you might have 2 quavers and 2 quavers, whereas 2/2 you're more likely to see 4 quavers joined up and you're likely to see longer note values, but they do look pretty much the same. So that's simple time signatures. So we're just going to do a few more examples down here with some more rests, but we'll go through 3/8 very quickly here. 3/8 is a simple time signature because it can't be divided down any further. I said earlier 8 is a quaver beat, so when you deal with this, we're going to do 3 quavers, we're going to join them up. That is a complete bar. And the thing to remember when you're grouping notes is to look at the bottom the bottom number in the time signature, because that is going to tell you what type of beat you are dealing with. So 3/8, 3 quavers. We could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 semi-quavers. And I will remind you that I am aiming this at students of mine who are working on grade 5, so I will expect that they understand the different note values, and I'm expecting that they do understand all of the different rests as well. So 3 quavers, that's half, 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 that's 3 quavers, 3 quavers. That is the equivalent of 1 quaver, that is the equivalent of 1 quaver, and that is the equivalent of 1 quaver. Because they're all semi-quavers, we can actually join up the whole bar. We could also put a crotchet and a quaver, that would be a complete bar. That is worth 1, that is worth half, and there are 2 quavers in a crotchet. Right, so that is grouping for simple time signatures. Something else you do need to know going into this for grade 5 is we have 2 beats in a bar, 3 beats in a bar, 4 beats in a bar, regardless of whether it's simple or compound. In fact, 2 beats in a bar is called a duple time signature, 3 beats in a bar is a triple time signature, and 4 beats in a bar is a quadruple time signature. You do sometimes get questions where it asks you what type of time signature it is. If it's 2/4, it would be a duple simple time signature. 3/4 would be a triple simple time signature, and 4/4 is a quadruple simple time signature. Next video, I'm going to talk about compound time signatures.